Welcome to this last video on the DRCY mentoring program. In this video, we'll go through how we do our monitoring and evaluation. Now, evaluation is an integral part of all DRCY mentoring programs, and we essentially do it in two ways. We do ongoing monitoring of the process through monthly follow-ups with mentor and sometimes also mentee, and we evaluate how the mentorship has actually affected the mentee after the end of the program. Let's first go through the ongoing monitoring. We do monthly follow-ups with mentor and mentee during their program in order to be able to adjust the program during the process and in order to be proactive in handling issues that might arise during the mentorship. We point out persons in the activity group or at the headquarters who are responsible for the monitoring with mentors. We advise that it is always the same person who does the monitoring with a mentor in order to build trust and to be able to follow up on previous talks. Now, as mentioned in the previous video, the follow-ups can either be done individually over the phone or at physical meetings where the mentors are grouped. The follow-ups are also a good way to nudge the development in the mentorship, as the mentors sometimes need to be reminded to keep working with the goals and milestones and also to keep the mentors motivated. In some programs, we also do follow-ups with the mentees in the same way, because it can be fruitful for the mentee to have a neutral channel where they can talk about issues without the mentor being present. Therefore, the follow-ups are done separately. For the first follow-up, we ask, which goals have the mentor and mentee decided upon, and what will they do to reach these goals? For the next follow-ups, we ask, how's it going with reaching the goals? Use a scale from 1 to 10. Did the goals change? Why? What are the new goals? What are the primary challenges for the mentor couple? And which new things should be done in order to reach the goals? This questionnaire should not necessarily be used word by word. Rather, it is an inspiration and a checklist for the interviewer to ensure that they talk about the most important issues. There should, of course, still be room to raise any points that are not covered by the questionnaire. You should, of course, consider which questions are relevant in your context. Now, a quick tip: make sure that you have a structured archiving system to save all the notes from the conversations so that you can easily find them again and edit in the same documents. Besides the ongoing monitoring, we also want to know how the mentorship has affected the mentee when the program ends. Now, often we need to evaluate our programs in order to define the value, to get to know our target groups, or to report to a donor. But the evaluation in itself can also be an important learning experience for our mentor couples. To do the evaluation, we first define a theory of change, which shows the assumed changes we believe the mentorship will have. In DRCY, we believe, based on different kinds of theory and experiences, that our type of mentorship enhances self-esteem, social competencies, well-being, as well as mentee school and professional life. Based on this, we define some parameters that we find important and relevant to evaluate on. You should, of course, consider which parameters are relevant to evaluate in your mentorship program, taking into account the purpose with the program and the value that you seek to create. In order to identify the progress of the mentee, we measure these parameters at the beginning of the program through a baseline and at the end of the program through a final evaluation. We collect data through a system where our mentees receive a survey at the beginning and at the end of the program. To us, it is very important that these measurements and surveys are also meaningful in practice in order to ensure a satisfying response rate. It can also be hard to make mentee answer the surveys if they are not helped along by their referrer or their mentor. The referrer, which is often a school teacher or the like, often helps the mentee to fill out the baseline. It can be done before or after the mentee has been matched with a mentor. Sometimes the mentor can also help or remind the mentee to fill out the baseline if they match quickly. When the program is over, the evaluation is an important part of identifying what the mentee has learned and gained during the program. It is therefore a nice exercise for mentee and mentor to do together. And it is a nice way to end the mentorship and make the mentee pinpoint the areas that he or she has improved on. The supervisor who calls the mentor for the monthly follow-ups really need to remind the mentor to do this with his or her mentee. The questionnaire revolves around 3 categories in the mentee's life: school, free time, and social relations. Some of the questions are regarding school life. On a scale from 1 to 4, how happy are you at school? How well do you think you're doing in classes? What are your dreams for the future? Do you know what to do after graduation? Are you motivated for the future? And regarding spare time, do you do any sports or activities in your spare time? Do you know of any sports or activities you could do in your spare time? Do you have a job? Can you think of an activity or a job that you would be good at? Regarding social relations, do you feel you have friends? How often do you hang out with friends? Do you have anyone to talk to about difficult subjects? Do you feel part of a community? Do you feel like other people like you the way you are? We chose these parameters because they can say something about the mentee's level of self-esteem, well-being, social competences, and networks. You're very welcome to receive our full questionnaire for inspiration. Now, let's get down to our results. Our results, for example, show that 67% of mentees have improved their social relations and feel like they have a friend after the mentorship program compared to the baseline. 90% evaluate that the mentorship has actually contributed to raise their self-esteem. 69% evaluate that they spend more time on school and education after the mentorship program. So, by doing a baseline and an evaluation at the end, we can identify the changes that have occurred in the mentee's life during the course of the mentorship. And by using supervisors to do continued follow-ups, we can tackle issues as they occur and adjust the mentorship program along the way, instead of just evaluating it at the end. So, you have now completed the sessions on how we do mentoring in DRCY. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. Please remember that you can always contact a DRCY consultant if you need any further advice or support. We'll be happy to help. But for now, we wish you the best of luck with your mentorship programs.